This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Alpine confirms Colapinto Doohan driver swap. Gilas boys under 16 face tough challenge in Pampanga SEABA championships. In Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani makes history with 10 home runs and 10 SBs. Dodgers still fall 5-4 in extra innings to Miami. In the NBA playoffs, the Cavaliers collapse as Pacers' Haliburton sinks game-winning 3 in 120-119 thriller. While the Warriors lose Steph Curry to injury but still manage to beat the Timberwolves in Game 1, 99-88. And joining us here inside the PNC studio, Petro Gazz Angel and two-time PVL MVP and champion, Brooke Van Sickle. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 7th of May. Now, here's our roundup. In Formula 1, Franco Colapinto is taking over Jack Doohan's seat at Alpine, effective immediately. After just 6 races into the 2025 season, the driver swap was confirmed hours after Oliver Oaks stepped down as team principal. With Flavio Briatore returning to lead the team for a third time, Colapinto will pilot the Alpine for the next 5 races, starting at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. The team plans to reassess the lineup after the Austrian round. Doohan has struggled to turn qualifying pace into results, and his recent collision in Miami only added to a string of tough weekends, with Pierre Gasly already scoring points earlier this season in Bahrain. Alpine is looking to capitalize on their competitive package by giving Colapinto a shot. The Argentinian driver also brings significant support from his home country, boosting both performance, potential, and backing. Pampanga is about to host the region's top youth basketball teams, Gilas Filipinas boys under 16, along with the national teams from Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Singapore. And they will compete in the 2025 SEABA Championships later this month. The tournament is a qualifier for the FIBA Asia Cup under 16, with only the champion advancing to the main stage in Mongolia later this year. The tournament runs from May 24 to 30 at the Brenzi Giao Convention Center in San Fernando and marks the head coaching debut of former Gilas star L.A. Tenorio. In Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani became the first player to reach double-digit homers and double-digit stolen bases this season, hitting his 10th homer in the 6th inning against the Miami Marlins. But despite Ohtani's heroics, the Los Angeles Dodgers came up just short in a nail-biter against the Miami Marlins, falling 5-4 in 10 innings. Tony Gonsolin, making his 3rd straight start against the Marlins since August 2023, came out sharp, retiring the first 6 batters on just 21 pitches, including 3 strikeouts. Andy Pages got his first shot at bat in the top third of the lineup and made it count. Quantrill, who got torched by the Dodgers last time out, settled down this time, spinning 5 strong innings of 1-run ball with 6 strikeouts. But Shohei Ohtani made sure Gonsolin didn't take the loss, launching a first-pitch bomb into the second deck to tie it up. That's 6 homers in his last 5 games at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins loaded the bases in the 8th against Anthony Banda, but Max Muncy started a clutch 5-2-3 double play to escape the jam. Scoreless in the 9th, the game headed to extras. The Dodgers threatened with 2 on and 1 out, but Will Smith grounded into a killer double play. In the bottom of the 10th, JP Feyereisen returned to the Dodgers mound, but after an intentional walk to Kyle Stowers, he gave up back-to-back singles to Agustin Ramirez and Jesus Sanchez, who sealed the walk-off win for Miami, snapping the Dodgers' chance at a season sweep. In the NBA playoffs, Cleveland built a 20-point lead, but Tyrese Haliburton delivered a last-second dagger to lift the Indiana Pacers over the Cleveland Cavaliers 120-119, giving the Pacers a 2-0 series lead on the road. The Cavs dominated early despite missing Mobley, Garland, and Hunter, but collapsed in the final minutes as the Pacers closed on an 8-0 run, highlighted by Haliburton's step-back three with 1.1 seconds left. Donovan Mitchell scored 48 points, but costly turnovers late opened the door for Indiana. Haliburton missed a free throw, got his own rebound, and sealed the game with ice in his veins. Aaron Nesmith's put-back dunk sparked the final push, and a Strus turnover set up the winner. Buddy Hield dropped 24 points as the Golden State Warriors took Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 99-88 in Minneapolis. Despite losing Stephen Curry to a left hamstring strain in the second quarter, Curry had 13 points in just 13 minutes before exiting after grabbing his left leg on a layup. Jimmy Butler added 20 points and 11 rebounds, and Draymond Green chipped in 18 and 8 for the 7th seed Warriors, who kept their momentum from the first round win over Houston. The Timberwolves cut a 23-point deficit to 9 in the fourth with a 13-2 run, but Hield hit a clutch corner three, and Butler followed with a driving jumper to seal it. Hield scored 16 of his 24 in the third, capping a 10-0 run with a triple to put Golden State up 76-53. Warriors led 44-31 at halftime after holding the Wolves to just 11 points in the second quarter. And here are the current playoff rankings. And now here's your daily dose of sports lingo. What do surfers mean when they call a wave gnarly? And why does it get their adrenaline pumping? Gnarly is a classic surf slang that describes a wave or situation that's extreme, challenging, or dangerous. So when surfers say a wave is gnarly, they're talking about massive swells, powerful breaks, or conditions that push their skills to the edge. It's not just about size. Gnarly waves demand total focus, quick reflexes, and a whole lot of guts. For seasoned surfers, tackling a gnarly wave is the ultimate rush. So next time you hear gnarly, think big, wild, and intense. Now it's time for our off-court buzzer. So apparently, even NBA players can get their outfit mixed up. Just 2 days after his huge game that kept the Golden State Warriors in the postseason, Buddy Hield walked out onto the court at the Target Center, but with the wrong pair of shorts. In the opening minutes of the Warriors' 99-88 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, Hield wore a black and blue pair instead of the black and yellow shorts his teammates were sporting. Yung pang-practice yung suot. The Timberwolves' bench quickly noticed, leaving Hield laughing on the court as he realized his mistake. He had to sprint back to the locker room to change, causing a delay of game and a timeout within the first minute. But after a quick pair switch, play resumed. Hield was on fire in the Warriors' Game 1 win over the Timberwolves, dropping 24 points, collecting 8 rebounds, and hitting 5 3-pointers in the 11-point win that gave the Warriors a 1-0 lead in the series.
Buddy, what happened with the wardrobe malfunction?
Jimmy switched it out. It was Jimmy's fault.
Okay.
Jimmy switched it out, and that's what happens. I was looking for my shorts, and I thought it was right. When he said, "Yo, put these on," it was right, and that was.
The Warriors are hoping to return to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2022 when they won their 4th championship. And while Hield will play a big role, let's just hope he remembers to wear the right shorts next time. That's our roundup for tonight, the 7th of May. Up next, joining us in the BNC studio, Petro Gazz Angel, 2-time MVP and champion, Brooke Van Sickle. When we return right here on The Scorecard. She is beauty, brains, and brawn combined, a lethal mix in the volleyball court that helped power the Petro Gazz Angels to clinch the PVL All-Filipino Conference crown. Let's welcome to the PNC studio, two-time PVL MVP, and now PVL All-Filipino champion, Brooke Van Sickle.
Hi, thank
Brooke,
you.
thank you so much. Man, you have no idea how long we've wanted you to be here at BNC. So thank you so much for the time. I know you've had such a busy schedule. You're flying out tomorrow. So maraming salamat for giving us your time tonight.
No, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm glad I got to work out and everything. So yeah, thank you again for having me. And this is awesome. So very excited.
Brooke, how does it feel to wake up a PVL champion? Because I was watching your interview, watching the final series, and one thing that shocked me a little bit was that when you revealed that you have not won a championship. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I mean, back in college, I have won conference championships, but not like the last hurrah kind of vibe. So I feel like this was much bigger than any championship that I've ever won. So this was like, top of the food chain kind of win. So this was much bigger, I would say. So I was super stoked to be able to wake up and, celebrate my team and just be able to have this, award and everything was awesome. So we worked very hard. I'm super proud of the team and everyone did a fantastic job. So yeah, it was a good day to be an Angel.
I remember speaking to MJ 3 days after. So that was just 2 days, about 36 hours, and then back to work, back to practice. You had the ABC. How was that experience competing against a higher level of talent, of course, players from different countries?
Yeah, it was mind-opening. It was really cool to be able to see the high performance everyone's playing and all these world-known players in the same gym, and it was awesome. Like, I mean, it didn't go well for the Philippines, but I feel like all the teams fought very well, and I think we learned a lot as a country. So it was awesome to be able to see the physicality and the talent in other countries and be able to have that taste of international experience. So it was eye-opening for me. So now I'm like, okay, what is some things that, I can put into my game that I learned during that time? And, I definitely saw the physicality. So that's another focus that's my goal, is to get as physical as possible. So,
Brooke, last year you arrived to the Philippines, long time coming, 2024. You joined the PVL All-Filipino Conference for Petro Gazz, and you burst onto the scene. You won MVP, but of course, Petro Gazz only finished with the bronze. But despite that, did you feel that the team was building something and then you had the potential to one day become champions, which eventually you got to?
Yeah, I would definitely say when I first got here, there was definitely potential. And, the team's just wonderful. The girls are all great. Everyone comes in, works super hard. And then getting MJ back too at a crucial moment, like finally having her and be able to get to know her better throughout the months and everything has been game-changing. So I think, when I first got here, it was the dream to win a championship. And slowly I did see the dream starting to become reality. And I think all the girls really felt like that because, we're putting in the sweat and tears every day at practice and, pushing each other. So we just, again, we have a good group and the right pieces, and everyone just, even with Myla Pablo being back on the court, like everyone was just producing, and it didn't matter who was on the court. Like even the girls coming off the bench, everyone was like performing very well. And even at practice, just pushing each other. So I would say it was definitely a very fought and earned win. So again, proud of the team and everyone's grit. So it was a long season.
Long season from November to April. Now you mentioned MJ Phillips, and I feel like your friendship, your bond really translated onto the court. And she was, I was not here, but I was able to speak to her like 3 days after you guys won the championship. And she said that you guys work because you're a yapper and she's a listener.
Of course.
Your reaction to MJ's comments with regards to that, and how does that translate to the court?
No, it's 100. She's 100% spot on. I yap. Yeah, and I like to talk, socialize. I'm an extrovert and MJ is more introverted, but she's like a empathetic person. So I feel like we just mesh really well together. She sits there, listens, and then I yap away, and then she'll talk too when she warms up.
This moment stood out to me, Brooke, because you guys were up 2-0, 1 set away from winning the championship. But I told this to MJ, it was as if you guys were walking without a care in the world. And despite all the noise, you guys were having a moment. What were you guys talking about when you were walking back to the bench?
Honestly, probably just cracking up jokes that had nothing to do with volleyball. Because we kind of that's kind of how we keep each other grounded.
Yeah.
Like we're stressed, we'll just crack jokes. It's just about random things. Like MJ, one thing about her, she's really witty and funny. So she'll just say something and it's just hilarious. So we try to keep each other on a playful, fun, environment, atmosphere for each other. So I think it helps a lot, especially under pressure. But yeah, even this, the crowd was loud, everything. And just to be able to have her, that kind of teammate, just to be able to ground and anchor me is huge. And, our friendship has grown since she's been back from Korea. And I couldn't do it without her. She's awesome. She literally picks me up when I'm at my lowest, at my worst days. And we do that kind of for each other. I hope I do that for her. So yeah, she's awesome. She's made my experience here tremendously better and has opened my eyes to even the culture and just exploring around the Philippines. So yeah, she's awesome.
Watching you guys, you can really feel the bond. And of course, we see the importance of friendships and relationships that translate into success, not just on the volleyball court, but in life as well. Brooke, let's go over here to the LED. And we're going to take a look at some of your highlights, the biggest moments of this championship series. But while you were playing here, there was somebody watching all the way from Japan. I want to know how he was feeling when he was watching you during these intense moments. Let's bring in former Japanese national team member and middle blocker, Cole Watanabe. Cole Watanabe here at the BNC studio. Brother, thank you so much.
How's it?
All right. So, Cole, how proud are you of Brooke, finally a champion here with Petro Gazz?
Oh, I'm very proud because she's been thinking about this ever since she got here. And then watching the game was so, I don't know, the emotions that I felt that night were so great because I was just proud of her because she got her goal done and then now she's moving on to more better things than that.
All right, there was a moment. Brooke was at the service line, okay? Just 2 points away. Brooke, do you remember that moment? What was going through your mind when you were at the service line knowing that you guys were so close to that championship?
It was close.
Yeah, this is the moment right here.
Yeah, I just thought to myself, okay, I'm going to put a good serve in, try to get best opportunity for my team. And even though the score was up there, Cream Line's a tough team. They still fight. So I just thought to myself, okay, we need to finish this and finish it now or else, we might not have to go. We might go 5. So yeah, that was about it.
What about you, Cole? How are you over there in Japan? I know you told me earlier you were watching this moment right here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was just kind of yelling at my iPad. I was like, Brooke, please don't miss this serve. The team needs you to make this serve right here, bro.
I also was thinking, I was like, please go in.
But obviously, you got the ace, Brooke, and then you arrived at championship point. You were at the service line again, and then eventually it was Jonas Abete who made the championship clinching spike. We're going to see it right here. There's the set from Chisaet and Jonah getting the job done. I mean, look at you right there, Brooke, celebrating. Do you remember what was going through your mind during that moment?
I couldn't believe it. And I think that was for all the girls too. Right when that final point happened, we kind of just thought wow, we really did it. We believed so hard that we turned a dream into reality. And it was awesome, phenomenal. Because a lot of these girls, they're championship level. So I'm really proud that they finally got, the recognition and everything that they deserve. So really proud of my team.
Now, Cole, you weren't here for this moment, but you were able to watch Brooke at the ABC. What's it like watching volleyball here in the Philippines? I know it's very different from what you experience over there in Japan.
Yeah, it's loud. The energy in the crowd, or just every game that I've been watching, even through the iPad, you can hear people yelling. It's just different because then everyone's so supportive. and then they just love their team so much. So it's so nice to see that for the Philippines to be shouting at games and being super energetic.
All right, Brooke, you've come a long way. I know you wanted to come back here to the motherland for the longest time. Finally made the jump last year and then worked so hard to finally become a champion in the PVL. Now, the narrative is changing because you've already achieved the championship in the PVL. You're a two-time PVL MVP. Last March, there was word that you were part of the list of 33 players, a wish list of players that they want to see represent the Philippines. Your thoughts on one day representing the Philippines with Alas Pilipinas?
Yeah, no, absolute honor. I would be, that's the goal. And I would absolutely love to be able to represent our country and just, even to play with the high level girls like that here in the Philippines is awesome. So it's definitely, I'm pushing for it. Hopefully one day. So if it doesn't happen soon, then best of luck to the team. And I know they're going to do phenomenal. And I can't wait to see how they do. And if I can join them, that'll be awesome. If not, then I'll be cheering and supporting. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Cole, I know you can relate having represented Japan. How do you feel knowing that Brooke is so close to representing the Philippines as well? And you know what? What do you think about this? What do you think about this?
Hey, that looks pretty good. That looks
Cool.
pretty good.
How does Brooke look?
Amazing. Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
She looks beautiful.
Okay. Thank you. Good
So
job.
your thoughts, we're manifesting this right now. Brooke Van Sickle representing the Philippines for Alas Pilipinas. Your thoughts on that?
I'm, it's just day by day. Hopefully the FIVB gets the clearance, everything works out, and we're still talking every day with national teams. So it's just, a waiting process. So we'll know hopefully within this month is the plan. So I already have kind of a schedule set up with them. So we'll see. Takes time. So praying.
All right. And I'm sure the entire Philippines as well, especially those who truly love the sport of volleyball and our country, are praying as well that you and even MJ represent Alas Pilipinas. That is our wish. Brooke, Cole, thank you so much for the time. I know you guys have a flight tomorrow night. I'd like to wish you a safe flight. Maraming salamat. Cole, thank you so much. Thank you. Brooke Van Sickle and Cole Watanabe here on the scorecard. There you go. Safe flight, guys. Up next, the Eastern Front heats up. Knicks Celtics pressure mounts in the Mile High. We'll break it all down so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. All right, let's be honest, Celtics fans. Game 1 was one of those games where you stare at your television, remote in hand, completely baffled, wondering, did we just blow a 20-point lead at home to the Knicks? Yup, you did. And not just any Knicks, a team that lost every single regular season meeting with you. So now what? Game 2, tomorrow, 7 a.m., TD Garden, a building that used to be a fortress, but now feels just a little wobbly. So let's rewind. Jalen Brunson, killer, poised, crafty, and let's face it, he's everything we always wished Kyrie had been in green. Stable, grounded, and completely unbothered in big moments. OG Anunoby, ice in his veins. Mikal Bridges, defensive heist artist, straight up ripped Jaylen Brown like it was pickup at the Y. Meanwhile, Boston, 6 3-point attempts, 60, and you made 15. Crazy. That's 25% in a playoff game at home. That's not spacing the floor. That's spacing reality. So, let's talk real problems. Kristaps Porzingis, out by halftime with an illness. Drew Holiday, clearly not 100% back from the hamstring thing, and yet you were still up 20 in the third quarter. So what happened? Shot selection crater, defensive urgency dip. And let's call this out. Jaylen Brown going 1 for 10 from 3 while Tatum settled for tough jumpers. That's not superstar stuff. That's hero ball disguised as bad habits. The Knicks, they just stuck around. They got stops. They made timely plays and they didn't blink. Karl Anthony Towns didn't even have a monster night, just 14 and 13. But you felt his presence on the boards. Brunson, he orchestrated. Anunoby, he was everywhere. Bridges made the play of the night. So what's the Game 2 blueprint for Boston? First, stop chucking. Run your sets. Get Tatum moving off ball. Involve Brown in downhill actions, not 30-foot bricks. Second, rebound like it's your rent check. Knicks are crashing hard. And third, if Porzingis can't go, someone's got to step up. And that someone cannot be just hope Derek White goes nuclear again. You're still the better team on paper. You're deeper. You're more talented. But tonight, that doesn't matter. If you lose Game 2 in your own building, this series might be over. So here it is. The Celtics have 48 minutes to prove they're not sleepwalking towards another heartbreak, because the Knicks, they're not scared. They're not tired. And after Game 1, they've got receipts. So stay ahead as the battle for the playoffs heats up with high-stakes games. And here is your forecast for tomorrow's games. And that wraps up tonight's preview, so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Before we go, think on this. From a 20-time Grand Slam titleist ranked as world number 1 for 310 weeks, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, Roger Federer once said, "A man who wins is a man who thinks he can." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.